Hello, world. Welcome to the You Deserve Health, Happiness, Success, Prosperity, and Love podcast. This is actually a beautiful day. It's a day that I want to spend giving you a little bit of information on something that you probably have never thought about, and that is inflammation. You're probably thinking, why do you want to tell us about inflammation? Inflammation is an actual process by which your body's white blood cells and the things that make them do whatever it is that they do to protect you from infection from outside invaders such as bacteria and viruses. Well, believe it or not, we do need a few germs so that the white blood cells have something to attack, something to do, because they are designed to fight off disease, germs, viruses, and things that come into your body to invade it. Think of them as Pac-Man, Mrs. Pac-Man, and Baby Pac-Man. You know, they went around and they gobbled up stuff, collecting points. Well, your white blood cells obviously do not collect points, but their job is to go around and eat up anything that has invaded your body. Now, here's the caveat with that. If there is nothing in your system for the white blood cells to eat, unfortunately, your autoimmune response will kick in and the white blood cells will start eating up the cells that you want to keep and need to keep. They will turn on you. So here's your situation. If your immune system is acting properly, no worries. If it is not, chances are you are inflamed, you have swelling, you have pain, you have probably gained weight and you can't figure out why, because you're eating the same amounts of foods, doing the same amounts of activities as you always have done. However, you're continuously getting larger and larger, but you don't know why. Now, because of the pandemic, what we've done is created sterile environments that we live and work in. We wear masks, we wear gloves, and every time somebody sniffles in our area, at least I was spraying stuff. And for all of you that I sprayed, I'm sorry, I apologize. But we were doing stuff that we generally didn't do because we were so germophobic, Like when I would go to the gas station, I wore gloves to pump my gas because I didn't want to touch the handle that everybody touches. I didn't want to, hit the buttons that everybody hit. When I go to the ATM machine, the same thing. I put on gloves. I don't want to touch that. Now, the one thing I have not done, and that is drive in my car by myself with the mask on. When I see that, that just makes me tickle because I'm like, okay, now you're protecting you from you. Sometimes I see people in their car by themselves with mask and gloves on. Whew. All right. I never really thought that this would happen to me, but I made my environment so sterile that my white blood cells had nothing to fight. So all of a sudden, I began swelling, inflammation in my fingers, my neck, my feet, my ankles, my knees. Everything was starting to hurt. I was having an autoimmune response because my white blood cells had nothing to gobble up, had nothing to fight. So it began to fight me. So if you have noticed that, you have joint pain, if you've noticed that you are swollen, if you cannot fit your clothes anymore, I thought I was gaining weight and I couldn't figure out why all this weight gain. But what I did was I created an environment that my white blood cells had nothing to do but turn on its host, which is me. So headaches, muscle stiffness, chills, loss of energy, things like that. That is a sign of inflammation. I am definitely going to recommend that you go see your doctor. If you have no other issues, had no other issues, and all of a sudden you're experiencing the things that I'm saying with the aches and the pain and the swelling and the joint stiffness and things of that nature, swollen, you need to go and have them measure your fluid intake so that they can actually, I'm saying fluid intake, but they should do like a blood test for C-reactive protein. And if you are in fact inflamed, then they would be able to help you, but definitely be careful about them also giving you steroids, because that's going to make your situation even worse with regards to blowing up. And that's what we're trying to, avoid. So therefore, what I have started doing is pretty much loading up on anti-inflammatory foods. So tomatoes, kale, vegetables, fruits, just a larger intake, almonds, things like that. You need to get rid of sodas in your diet and lard. I don't know if people even use that, but that's one of the things that I was told about, but I don't use that. But fried foods, French fries, things like that. So anti-inflammatory foods, grapes, celery, blueberries, garlic, olive oil. I use cold pressed olive oil for pretty much any and everything that I do. So I'm definitely going to recommend, if you do olive oil, because there's so many out there, whatever brand you use, just make sure it's extra virgin olive oil, and that's your cold press. Ginger, rosemary, turmeric. Depending on where you're from, you might say turmeric. So wherever you are, there you go. But cold water fish, salmon, tuna, things of that nature. That's what you want to do. And move your body. Just start exercising. If you weren't exercising before, start now. So make time to actually exercise. Manage your stress. Oh my gosh, if you don't meditate, people think meditation is sitting on a mountain somewhere, because that's the pictures that we normally see, with your legs in Indian crossed and you're humming or whatever. You don't have to do that. You can actually go for a walk in your neighborhood. Walk your dog. Walk your neighbor's dog if you don't have a dog. Just get out and get in the open air and be able to just breathe in normal oxygen without it being run through an air-conditioned system. So just get out and get refreshed. And of course, I'm always talking about drinking water. But yeah, so the good news is that you may not be fat. You may just be inflamed. And so with that inflammation, it's just basically swelling. And it's something that can be controlled and treated without medication or with medication. It's just up to you. I talked to Margot Faulkner, and if you have not seen that, or actually I don't think it's on YouTube, I think it's on the podcast. So if you've not heard that, I would definitely recommend you listen to it. She and I touched on the subject, but of course you can go to her website, which is also listed on it's listed on YouTube, it's listed on the podcast itself, and I'll even put a link below here where you can go, and she sells blends, essential oil blends that will in fact help with the inflammation. It will help your body recover, because that's one of the things that she and I talked about, it, as you will hear, is getting your body in a position for it to recover on its own. Your body can and will heal itself, but you have to do the necessary steps in order for it to do that. So it is possible with your cooperation. So cooperate with your body. Listen to what it's telling you, and definitely fill up on fruits and vegetables and salmon and tuna, nuts like almonds and walnuts and lean, greasy vegetables. My vegetable, of course, in terms of greens is kale, but of course you can do whatever you want. Spinach, mustards, turnips, collards, it's up to you. Tomatoes, olive oil. You can even blanch the tomatoes if you don't like the skin on the tomatoes. Blanch them, take those off, or take that off, and of course, go ahead and eat it that way. With the olive oil, extra virgin, and what I like doing as well is adding some lemon to it. So when I started, swelling and getting bigger, and I couldn't figure out why, it wasn't what I was eating necessarily so much as what was eating me. So my autoimmune system had actually kicked in because my white blood cells did not have anything in which to attack, because I had sterilized my environment, just over sterilized, wearing gloves all the time, wearing masks. And I know we still have to do those things to protect ourselves, but don't do it to the point where you are causing harm to yourself. I was bleaching everything in sight every day. I'm going through bleaching, I gotta bleach stuff down. I'm at work wiping stuff down. Somebody used my pen, they give it back, I smile and I accept it. As soon as they leave out, I take my bleach little thing that I used to carry around, and we can't be scared of each other, because I figured out what my problem was. Someone else might not figure out what their problem is. And with the inflammation, it gets worse. It can go into heart disease. It can go into blood clots. You can have Alzheimer's disease. Different forms of cancer can be created through this inflammation process. So if you've not been checked and you are having some of these symptoms, please go get checked. Go get checked. Find out, what's going on. Have them check your blood so you can know if in fact what you're experiencing is inflammation. And if it's inflammation, it's not a problem, because you can fix it. It can be fixed. We can stop the diabetes. We can stop the heart failure. We can stop the kidney failure. We can stop all of the diseases that having inflammation can cause. So with that being said, it's me, Joni B, letting you know that we have to take back our health. Your health is definitely your wealth. We love you here at You Deserve Health, Happiness, Success, Prosperity, and Love. And by all means, have a fabulous day, and thank you so much for stopping by.